regular saver and an investor? Do you maximize your money? Do you live below your means? Are you on the path to financial freedom? If so, that is awesome, and you're doing better than most Americans and most people around the world. But do you want to be a millionaire faster, right? And so that's great that if you invest in your Roth IRAs and your 401ks and all that stuff and you live below your means, you'll become a millionaire by the time you're 65, 68, or a little bit sooner, depending on how much you invest. But do you want to be a millionaire faster? And so I know for me and for a lot of people out there, they are happy, at least somewhat happy with that path, but they want to be richer faster so they could do more, they can help their families now, and they can help other people. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the book, The Millionaire Fastlane, or you can check out this summary and some of the key points from The Millionaire Fastlane on how to get rich fast, how to make more money fast. Let's do it. Great. So the author of The Millionaire Fastlane is MJ DeMarco. And when he was a young boy, a teenager, he actually came across a young inventor who was driving a Lamborghini. And he was like, this life, whatever he's doing, I want to learn from him. And so he became obsessed and started researching about young millionaires, which I think is so essential. I do talk about that, and what I've been researching is smart people, healthy people, happy people, successful people, wealthy people, the people you want to be like. Go learn from them and see what they want to do. And so he did. And so he was determined to be in the fast lane, and he was determined to build wealth for himself. And so by 26, he had failed at many businesses, and he wasn't off to the best start. But as we know, failure is the best way to get to success. And if you try more things and if you fail and you learn and you keep going and persisting, you will eventually find success. And so when he was in Phoenix, he decided to start afresh in Phoenix with just $900. And when he was working as a limo driver, he got the idea to build a website that helped connect different limo companies with potential clients. And so he taught himself all the search engine optimization and building the website and engineering and all that stuff. And he eventually sold his business for $1 million. Eventually, though, he decided to buy it back for $250,000 because it wasn't doing as well. And then he ended up selling it again in the future for about $8 million. And so he was able to retire. He was, I believe, about 33 years old, and he was done. So he wasn't 68, wasn't 65, and he achieved his goal of hitting the fast lane, which to him, the fast lane is being able to make a lot of money or retire within 10 years. 10 years, right? And we know that if you invest about $5,000 in the S&P 500 every single month for about 10 years, you will have $1 million. So that is one way to do it as well. So if you have a day job where you're able to invest that much, or you're living enough below your means and you want to wait 10 years, then that's great. But there's some other ideas about starting businesses and companies that we will go ahead and get into, because don't you want it too? I do too. Let's do it. Another important thing to note is that the Millionaire Fastlane, it is about 10 years, but it's exponential. It's not linear. And so there's not a linear path, like go to high school, go to college, do this, do that, boom, there you go. There's a lot of ups and downs, and I can put an infographic in here. I've seen so many out there that are really great on this. It's going to take time. It's going to take failures and not failures, and take a left turn, then take a right turn, then hit a dead end, and then hit another dead end. And that's just the path that you're going to go on. And so a lot of times you see that someone sold their company for $200 million, for $20 million, for $5 million, for $50 million, whatever it was. You see that end result. You don't see the process and all the failures, all the countless nights where they doubted themselves, all the times where they were on zero money or about to go bankrupt or whatever. And so know that it isn't an easy path, but it is a possible path. And if you're willing to take that risk, if you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to have the mindset to go through the ups and downs and the failures, then this definitely might be for you. So DeMarco states that becoming wealthy is like a road trip. And that's why he has the fast lane and the car analogy. And he uses this throughout the book. And so he says that your roadmap is the beliefs that guide your actions. So you need a roadmap if you're going to go somewhere. You need some beliefs that will guide your actions, just like a company. So what are your beliefs? Do you believe that you can become rich and wealthy? Do you know how? All right. Your vehicle is you. You are the one in the driver's seat. Your level of wealth is going to depend on the person that you become. So ultimately, you personally drive the vehicle. And so you have to do that work. You have to do the self-work. You have to do the learning and get the knowledge and acquire that to be able to build the wealth that you want for yourself and for others. Your roads, these are your financial pathways that you can take. So there's many ways to make money as an employee, as a self-employed person, or a business owner. There's a lot of ways to make millions of dollars, and you have to figure out what path, what road you want to go on. And we talk about this too, a little tangent, is that it's not just about hard work. You have to be in the right boat. You have to be in the right vehicle that can have the potential to make a lot of money. And he'll talk about that later in the book, where he talks about a hot dog stand in New York might not have the potential to be leveraged and to grow to a $200 million company. Maybe if there's multiple stands or things of that nature, but you have to get in the right boat. And so that is key as well. And then your speed, it's your execution. So how rapidly can you move from idea to idea to idea and implementation? And so if you get an idea, how long does it take you to actually implement it? And so we talk about that with self-development, or even on the YouTube channel or things. If I say, hey, invest in a Roth IRA, this will make a huge difference in your life, and then you wait or you never do it, then you're going to take a long time, or you're never going to get where you want to go. If you go, hey, invest in a Roth IRA, oh, we have the money to do so, let me put it on the calendar, we're going to do it next Tuesday or tomorrow or right now, boom. And then you take action. And so you really want to have a bias for action and do things faster, and you'll get there faster. Marco also states that your belief system is like a compass that guides you. So what you believe, right? People talk about that. What you believe, you can achieve. And it's true. It is true. So you have to start believing it, because your beliefs will start shaping your choices. If you believe that you can get fit and in shape, you're going to start eating healthier. You're going to start taking care of yourself. You're going to start going to the gym, right? Whatever that is, if you believe it, then you will start taking actions and having habits and choices that will get you where you want to go, which is huge. And so he says that there are 3 roadmaps to wealth. We have the sidewalk, we have the slow lane, and we have the fast lane, which is what I'm sure most of you guys want. And so each roadmap comes with a different belief system and a set of ideas about time, about education, about debt, about money, about wealth, responsibility, and about life in general. And so let's go ahead and talk about those 3 roadmaps and what they are. And so you can join whichever roadmap you want. Right, so number 1 is the sidewalk. And the sidewalk is people live in the present. They go with the flow. They typically spend more than they earn, and they don't really think about tomorrow. They sacrifice tomorrow for today. And so this is the average person, where they're living in a lot of debt and they live for today. There is something beautiful about that you're wanting to live in the present and enjoy the present moment. And I do advocate for that, but you do have to think about the future if you want to build wealth for yourself and build and create a beautiful life. Number 2, so people are on their way, but they're in the slow lane. And so they typically will have a job. They work hard for 50 years. They put in that time, they put in that effort and that energy, and then they hope they can save enough to retire comfortably. And so this is typically a guaranteed way, and you can do this. And I at least want to advocate for most people doing this, because it's better than having someone never be able to retire or to be completely suffering, but it's the slow lane. And so know that there's one more option. Then lastly, there is the fast lane, which is what a lot of people want to be on. And it's not for everybody. And so you can do this by having a really high income job or a skill that can give you enough money and then living below your means. But it also can be in creation. You build a business, you build a system, you own something that is able to produce more income for you. So why the fast lane? And so this is a book specifically on focusing on the fast lane. So if you want to do the other ones, that's totally fine with you, but I'm going to be focusing on this one. And so it really helps you to be able to create huge amounts of wealth quickly because of control and about leverage. And so you can build a business system and you don't have to do everything yourself. So typically you want to outsource things. It's not easy to give up control or to create a process like this, but it's extremely rewarding. And we talk about wanting to not trade your time for your money and build systems and things that can work for you while you sleep and that could expand and grow and be leveraged instead of just, hey, I have to go to work right now. I put in my 8 hours, then I'm done, right? You want to build a system. And so another part of this is becoming a producer, not a consumer. And honestly, I recommend this even just for happiness. I know me just being able to create something, it doesn't have to be content. It could be content. It could be blog posts. It could be writings, but it also could be you build something, you design something, you do crafts, whatever it is, start building and creating. You're going to be a lot happier if you're creating, but you want to focus on being that producer and providing value and creating things that can help other people. Another part is understanding this equation, which is wealth equals net profit plus asset value. So what's the asset value? What's your net profit? That's going to create your wealth. Another thing is knowing how to use compound interest. And so it's not necessarily to build wealth, it's to increase your income in your liquidity. So having that cash and that money on hand and having a higher income. You want to compound interest to get more money that can cash flow that you can pour into other things. And then lastly, there's another really big concept that he talks about, which is the 5 types of seedlings that can grow for you into money trees. So have you ever heard money doesn't grow on trees? Well, it can if you create those money trees. And so we want to plant those seeds, which are typically rental systems. We have computer systems. We have content systems, distribution systems, and human resource systems. So those are typically the 5 trees you want to plant that can build your wealth fast. Parker has a lot of information on this next one, which is talking about the vehicle as you, and getting rich quick does not mean easy. And quick is still like 10 years. It doesn't just happen overnight, typically for most people. And so you really have to work on yourself. And this can be starting your business. This could be making good choices, seeing things differently and choosing to choose a different path, right? Instead of just going with what everybody else does or the standard path. Managing toxic relationships and emotions. This can be a really, really key part. We talk about mindset a lot on the channel and moving through the feelings and the ups and downs that you experience when you're working on a journey like this, freeing up your time, having the time to be able to do things that you want to do that take care of you, that take care of the business, etc. And being 100% committed. You want to be committed to whatever goal or whatever thing you're a part of. And if you really want it to happen, you have to commit. Number 3 is the roads to wealth. And so remember, we talked about it can't just be hard work. You have to be on the right road and on the right path. And so there's actually 5 different commandments that will help you. And so I'll talk about a few of them here. It's the commandment of need. So is your product, is your service, is what you offer going to help provide a need? Is it needed? Is it something that's a pain point for people that people are willing to pay for? Is it an unsolved problem or service? Or is there an emotional gap that is there? And so you have to think about that. Is there actually need? You could have a really cool idea, but if there's not a need for it, then it might not end up working out. There's also the commandment of scale. So how can you use leverage to scale up your business, right? And so, for example, there's someone who was a personal trainer and they were just doing one-on-one coaching and working with a client. But instead they decided to build an app, or they built a YouTube channel where they're able to reach more people faster and in the same amount of time, which is using leverage. It's the same skill, but how can you expand it, reach more people? The other one is the commandment of time. So having your business be able to run and operate without you. So if you go on a holiday, can your business still run, right? It's the same thing. Like if I'm a teacher, things could run without me because there are substitutes, etc. But it's a little bit different, right? And so you want to be able to have your business run without you if you're gone. Your commandment is control. And so you want to play in an arena where you have some type of control, some type of skill or something where you have an advantage. And so this can really, really be helpful. Of course, you can succeed at anything and at any time, but this really makes a difference if you have some type of control or advantage. Lastly, number 5, there's the commandment of entry. And so you want to be able to enter the arena. I talk about this all the time. Get in the game, play the game, and start working and be in it. Put yourself in it. But a big part of this is, are there a ton of competitors? And so Sarah Blakely did this. There were billion-dollar businesses, and she ended up building her brand with $5,000 to $1 billion. But it's going to be a lot easier if there aren't all of these things that are making it harder for you to enter the game. And lastly, you want to find your highways and your ultimate destination. So if you have your highways, that's going to get you there faster to your ultimate destination. And so he talks about those 5 commandments as your highways. If you understand those, then you're going to be well on your way. But you want to make sure that you're trying to get there quickly, right? Instead of maybe $20,000 a month, some of these pathways can get you to $200,000 a month or $2 million a month. It is possible if you choose the right lane. And so he also explains 3 options to consider. So you can consider maybe an internet business, you can consider innovation and coming up with something new, or intentional iteration. And so iterating on something and making it better. For example, like we talked about earlier, a hot dog stand by the beach isn't always going to be a fast lane, but if you sold an international hot dog franchise, it certainly can be. So think about it that way. Number 4, don't forget to accelerate. So we want to put our foot on the gas and we want to take action and move forward. And so you're never going to get there if you don't actually put your foot on the gas. And so an idea is worthless, he argues, unless it's executed. I know Sarah Blakely talks about this, that ideas are gifts from the universe. And so write them down, put them down, but it's not going to do anything until you actually take action. And so at least it's there. Keep your gifts, keep those ideas, they're gifts, but take action on them, right? And so he talks about execution being the king. He talks about marketing being the queen. So how can you make it known? Alex Hormozy talks about marketing is simply making things known. You could have an awesome product. You could have an awesome service. You could have awesome content. But if no one knows about it, then how are more people going to see it, right? There could be customers out there or people who want to join your community or who want to work with you, but they just don't know about you. Also, customer service as a bishop, it's really important to really be able to actually help clients, help people, help serve. Business, sales, all of that is about service. Life is about service and how you can connect with and help other people. You're solving problems and being able to solve those issues and pain points is your knights. And then your castle is held by the people you work with. And so it's so funny how I love his little analogies and talking about the fast lane and the slow lane and the cars, and then also talking about the kingdom with the castle and such. If you're interested in more or learning more about this book, I definitely recommend checking it out. It has 45 chapters and they're pretty small, succinct, and they have a really clear path and idea. So if you want to get on the fast lane, I would maybe recommend checking that out for more details on how to do it. But I hope this video was helpful to you. And I hope that you are working on financial freedom for yourself, whatever that is. If it is the slower lane, that's fine. At least you're doing that, right? And so don't discount that if you're like, well, I don't want to own a business or I don't want to do that. Totally fine. There are so many ways to build financial wealth and freedom for yourself. And so know that it might not happen in 10 years for you. Unless you have a really good income and you live really below your means, then it totally could happen for you, right? If you save that $5,000. So I hope this video is helpful for you today. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what you took away. If you're interested in more videos like this, I'm happy to do that. I'm sharing what I've learned and also what I'm learning in hopes that it could help you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe for more, share with a friend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys, you got this. Find the path that works for you.